Hello everyone and welcome to SMU PAW's new series, What's Eating You? In today's episode, we'll be embarking on 5 missions to explore the issue of sustainability and how greener habits can have a positive impact on the wildlife and the environment. We've all heard of the buzzwords: climate change, pollution, sustainability. But have you really thought about how these issues are impacting our ecosystem and wildlife at large? It is much more than just videos of polar bears stranded on melting ice or turtles with straws stuck in their noses. The problem is much more colossal than we imagine, affecting extensive numbers of wildlife species and causing destruction of their health, sources of survival, and homes. To save our wildlife, join us in our mission to learn more about and incorporate more sustainable practices into our daily lives. Introducing our not-so-secret agents for today, our SMU PAW members Christabel and Natasha, as well as our special guest Christy.
Hello, I'm Natasha.
And I'm Belle. For the first mission, Natasha and I are given the task to source for sustainable daily necessities to keep our Earth and its creatures healthy. So, let's go!
Coffee, milk, soap, and toilet roll. These are some necessities that we all have at home, but do we know where they come from and how they are acquired? It's important for us to understand the need for sustainable sourcing of our products. The items we purchase on a daily basis will have repercussions such as unsustainable agriculture and logging. These repercussions will cause a depletion in natural resources for wildlife. This disrupts the entire ecosystem. Today I'll be teaching everyone how to shop sustainably at your local supermarkets.
When shopping in your local supermarket, here are some labels you can look out for to be a more conscious shopper. The first label to look out for is by the Aquaculture Stewardship Council, ASC. The on-pack label demonstrates to consumers that their seafood comes from farms that limits their impact on the environment and the community. Similar to the ASC label, the MSC label is only applied to wild fish or seafood from fisheries that have met requirements for sustainable fishing. And for purchasing goods like tissues, do look out for the FSC labels, which supports responsible forest management. For products like tea and coffee, we can look for Ethical Tea and the Rainforest Alliance stickers. Both seals allow us to recognize and choose products that contribute toward a better future for people and the planet. Lastly, as for sanitary items such as dishwashing liquids, we can look out for SEC labels. SEC labels are administered by the Singapore government as part of the Singapore Green Labelling Scheme. This scheme aims to help the public identify environmentally preferred products that meet certain eco standards. Now let's head to the checkout with all our sustainable products. So the next time you need to go grocery shopping, do look out for these labels and show a support to brands who have invested more into sustainable and ethical means of production.
Hi everyone, quick question. How many of you have tried clearing your closet trying to make space for more? Well, personally, I did a full closet spring cleaning at the beginning of the year, and I realized that many of the pieces that I wanted to throw away or donate are only worn a couple of times and left forgotten.
I had a whole mountain of clothes and I'm not very proud of it because just thinking about the waste generated by myself alone made me feel very guilty.
I decided that it's time for a change, so the first step that I took was to educate myself on the issue and how my spending habits as well as fast fashion could affect the world that we live in. Based on research, fast fashion has been on the rise due to the convenience of online shopping, blindly hopping onto fashion trends as well as cheap alternatives. And due to the high volume of clothes being manufactured and discarded at the same time, it puts a strain on our planet, wildlife population, as well as increases animal exploitation. Why?
There are some clothes that are made out of animal-derived materials such as leather, fur, or wool, and this results in animals such as sheep, horses, snakes, and cows being factory farmed in poor living conditions and painful conditions most of the time. Not to mention that clothes that are made out of non-animal derived materials such as synthetics and cotton, they also require a lot of water, energy, and other resources into making them.
When all of our clothes that we do not want anymore are eventually thrown away, they harm and pollute our lands, as well as our water bodies where our marine life resides. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 tips that helped me in my sustainability journey. Firstly, be more aware about what materials goes into the clothes that you want to buy, and as far as possible, try to support brands that adhere to ethical practices as well as does not involve animal cruelty, and they utilize sustainably sourced materials. Secondly, try to support local ethical fashion boutiques, and here are some examples on the screen. Thirdly, cultivate the culture of thrifting as well as buying second-hand clothes. This not only encourages circular economy, but we also show our support to local thrift stores, small businesses, be it physical or online stores like Carousel on Instagram, and it's also a cheaper alternative at the end of the day. Fourthly, buy only what you need with the mindset of less for more. This is something that I'm still personally working on, but what I meant is that whenever you're going shopping or you're buying something, go for clothes that are more versatile or durable. You save money as well as save the environment. Lastly, if you have any clothes, footwear, accessories or bags that are still in good condition, you may opt for a donation instead of just simply throwing them away, and you may do so by dropping your donations at these locations.
Hello everyone, I'm back. Today I'll be talking a bit about the Bring Your Own movement, or BYO for short. This campaign aims to curb the wastage of single-use plastics. I'm sure that many of you have seen some uncles and aunties at some hawker centres with their reusable bags and containers, either carrying their groceries in it or tapaoing some food. I've always wondered who in the right frame of mind would actually go through the hassle to bring their own reusable items. Until recently, when I came across a few sustainability pages, I realized that their actions are actually great help to the environment as well as the wildlife. Almost 8 tons of plastics enter the ocean every year, and this waste actually kills marine life. The creatures either think that these plastics are food or get entangled and stuck in them. So today we're on a mission to actually tapao some food from our nearby hawker centre with our reusable containers. Let's go! To do my part for this campaign, come along with me as I use my reusable container to tapao some lunch. Generally, quite a lot of restaurants, coffee shops and hawkers are receptive to using reusable containers to store food, which is great because you can save tapao charge and the environment at the same time. Some places even offer discounts if you bring your own container. As you can see, the hawker is placing food into my container. Heading back home for my lunch now. So everyone, do remember to use your reusable products whenever you can. As they can last many uses, it offsets its carbon footprint of production. Do get your friends to join in this sustainability journey as well.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and today I've been challenged to upcycle something. Basically, my mission for today is to turn something that is normally deemed as trash into something useful for my pets.
To be very honest, I'm not a very artsy crafty person, so I'm thinking very hard about what to do. I live in a household with like 6 people, and we use toilet paper quite on the daily. And it's something like we barely even think about, like we use already, we throw away.
Although toilet paper is biodegradable, manufacturing toilet paper emits greenhouse gases, and also trees have to be cut down to produce them, hence contributing to climate change. There are more environmentally friendly alternatives like using toilet paper made out of recycled materials like bamboo, which has a much smaller environmental impact, and it's also a renewable source.
Before you think I'm going to teach you how to upcycle used toilet paper, I'm not. I was inspired by this YouTube video that I found. Basically, she was making toys and bottom breakers for her hamsters using toilet paper rolls.
I don't know why I have so many of them lying in my house. By upcycling unwanted belongings or even common household trash, we are not only helping to steer ourselves away from a throwaway culture and minimize trash, but also decreases the need for us to buy even more stuff to satisfy our needs and wants. We get to slow down the rate of extraction of resources and pollution, moderating the encroachment of animal habitats while making use of existing resources we already have in our homes to create new treasure. Look, Oreo is stuffed.
I'm probably going to do it again because it's kind of short and easy process, and there's a lot of tutorials and many other things for me to upcycle into toys for my pets, like a used toothbrush as a comb.
Besides reducing and reusing or upcycling your waste, remember there is always a third R, recycle.
Similar to upcycling, this lessens the need to keep taking raw materials and natural resources that biodiversity relies on as well, and also reduces litter that contaminates wildlife habitats.
Though some may recycle with a good intent, items in blue bins should not be contaminated by food and liquid waste.
However, some are not sure what materials can go into recycling bins. So today I'm going to show you how to maximize your recycling.
If the items are dirty, do give it a good rinse or even soap and dry it before recycling it. So as you can see here, my household generates trash, and so we separated items that can and cannot be recycled. Common items like newspapers, metal cans, plastic bottles, cardboard rolls and cartons can be recycled. However, biodegradable plastic bags, styrofoam cups, and used napkins cannot. So after we finished sorting the items, we brought them down to the nearest recycling bin. With a little effort on our parts, we can cultivate good recycling habits and reduce our waste.
A huge thank you to our agents for taking us along on their sustainability missions. Animals, in more ways than one, are affected by our consumption habits and the decisions we make daily. By being more conscious of the hidden environmental and animal welfare costs behind the products we buy, reducing our reliance on single-use items, channeling our waste into new uses, and prolonging the useful life of existing resources, we are not being sustainable just for ourselves to preserve our own home for future generations, but also the animals and their habitats. With that, we hope you've taken away something from this video and continue to educate yourself and cultivate good habits as you go forward. If you like this video, please make sure to share it with your friends to spread the word. Remember to follow SMU PAW on Instagram to keep up to date with our latest activities. Bye!